All right, heading to Waynesville. I didn't get 10.69, so thought I'd just make a video on those things that I posted on Twitter that I'd really like to see fixed. And then hopefully this week I'll get 10.69. Okay, here's one. It should not speed up that quickly. We're in a residential area. The speed limit changes right after we leave that stop sign, and it wants to launch us up to 35 miles per hour. It should know that the speed limit's 20 right there. It should actually be able to see the sign and not go up that high. So here's another one. There's actually some cars, but right here it tries to get in the middle of the road across center. If there was a car coming, I would be in their lane. You can't see around that curve. If it can't see the road ahead like this, it does fine here. It stays on the right side of the yellow lines, but in the other curve where the lines are faded, it tries to go in the middle. And right here, I can't see anything yet. I can lean forward, I still cannot see anything. And it gets almost up there, so now I'm in the, yeah, see, it put me in the right lane, and then it has to make a left turn. I'm in the right lane, why? So yeah, that's a spot. It needs to just get into the left lane immediately, because it turns into the right lane and then there's no room to get over in the left lane. You need to be in the left lane immediately. And so then it tries to turn left from the right lane, gets confused because the line is gone there, and just totally messes up. It has a really hard time at that turn if it doesn't immediately turn into the left lane. The few times it has turned into the left lane, it does great. And here, it's getting in the wrong lane. I'm turning right. Okay, this time it fixed itself, but it shouldn't get in that lane. It should stay in the right lane. So sometimes it gets in the far left turn lane there, and obviously I'm turning right. It should not get in the left turn lane. I'd say about 50% of the time it does it correctly. About 40% of the time it gets in that second lane and then tries to get back over, and usually it can. But sometimes there's a car coming up quickly and gets in the way, and then it can't get back over. And then maybe 10% of the time it gets in the far left turn lane, and obviously it shouldn't be there. Okay, no idea why it just braked. Okay, so changing lanes to stay out of rightmost lane. In a lot of places, the law is you have to stay in the rightmost lane unless you're passing. So, not sure why that happens. Some people think it's because there are roads on the side and people might be turning right, but there's no one directly ahead of me, so there's no reason for it to worry about what's happening up ahead in the right lane. And in addition to that, even if I have my navigation set to turn right, it puts me in this left lane. So I mean, it just seems like a useless feature, and obviously they added it because there's a message. So here's the next one I've mentioned 100 times. I scrolled the speed down to 40. And did it way back there. We're still going 52 when we hit the city limit. That's good enough, but I scrolled it down way back there. It should not take that long. So now I've got a 35 sign here. It should be going less than 45. And it's not. And there are cops sitting at that Dollar General store right there on the left pretty often to catch speeders. So you don't want to be going, 12, 13 over. And if I didn't scroll it down, all right, I just hit the turn signal. It's not getting over. If I didn't scroll it down, it wouldn't even try to slow until I hit that sign. And not sure why it just tried to get in that turn lane for no reason. I'm obviously going up this hill. That happened one time before, months ago. So just goes to show you, you have to be ready to take over at any time. I would love to get updated map data so that it would actually route me on the road I used to take. But I just got new map data, and it still doesn't show that as being a road I can take. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get in the right lane here. There's no one around behind me. So what tends to happen up here at this roundabout, this lane ends, and there are a lot of signs that say right lane ends. But the lines are all faded, so you can't really visually see that the lane ends. So right lane ends. That should be an indication for the car to get over. Here's a visual sign that shows that the right lane ends. That one's kind of blocked. Lane ends, merge left. You can see that the arrows are kind of there. The line is kind of there. But what the car does is just drives through what's not a lane until right here. So yeah, if there were cars around, that would be an issue. I would have to put on the turn signal and tell it to get in the left lane. That should not be the case. And also that turn was really wide. It went over the yellow line there. It's never done that there before. Up ahead, we've got some construction. The road is closed while they build another roundabout, and it's been hit or miss. It's done well a couple times, and a couple times just completely failed. So we'll see how that one does. Might do better since there's a car directly in front of me. Not sure. It sees that stop sign and tries to stop for it. Also, speed is way too high. Nope, it was not going to turn this time. And due to the narrowness of this road and where that curb is, you have to swing out a little bit and turn in here. It's really narrow. I hate coming through this way. And then here, it wants to stop way back instead of up here where you can actually see. This time it did well, I think, because I enabled it late. Come on. Come on, there's a car behind me. Don't stop. So I hit the accelerator there. It doesn't do right there at all either. Come on. I'm hitting the accelerator because it got my speed set to 30, but it keeps slowing down. Not sure why. This car is right behind me, so can't really let it do anything stupid. No, don't go yet. Don't go yet. Don't go yet. There's not enough room to angle your car here, so either have to wait or go. And it was not doing well there. I was ready to take over, but I didn't have to. It made the turn and did all right. So there we have it. That's good example of a lot of the things I mentioned. Just a whole lot of things I hope are improved. So I'll run in here and then record the drive back after I make a couple stops. Alright, so as you can see, I'm going down this road, but it thinks this road doesn't exist, so it wants me to turn around, so I'm not enabling FSD yet. The map data just sucks. It would take me a long way back around. So once I get over the bridge, I can actually change, it'll actually change and I can enable FSD. So you can see it still wants me to make a U-turn somehow, which FSD would not be able to do that. So yeah, the lines are in the right spot, which is odd. They didn't used to be. But it thinks we can't cross this bridge. I mean, it's just weird how it's so dependent on the maps, and the maps are just so bad here, even with the latest update last week. So yeah, it still doesn't think I can be on this road. So once I am right up here where this road meets it, I can enable FSD again. I would love to be able to keep full screen visualization and still have my navigation so that I could edit my trip. Since I have to add so many waypoints to get the routes that I like, I have to keep full screen turned off. And I had to use the accelerator for it to go there. I'm not sure why. I've never had an issue there before. All right. Not sure what that was about. Just swerved into the right lane and back. As you can see, the dotted line is almost invisible back there. It does a good job there, but it's roads like that where the lines are pretty much gone that it has a lot of trouble with, like in blind curves and things like that. We just have a lot of roads that are in really bad condition. Alright. It slowed for that car turning, so it should have just went ahead and stopped. It would have run the red light. Alright, so the right turn up ahead, we have to stay in this lane. Typically the car wants to get in the far right lane, which is also a right turn lane, but it's a right turn lane that only allows you to turn right again after you turn. So you can see up here, we've got these pylons. So it just tried to put me in that right lane. If it put me in that lane, I would be stuck and going up to that school. So I have to stay in the second lane there. The signs are clear about that, but the car doesn't read signs. So, oops, gotta move this. So yeah, the car doesn't read signs other than some speed limit signs, so it doesn't understand that. So when I'm doing FSD testing, I want to avoid highways. Otherwise, it's not even using FSD. It would put me on the highway all the way from Publix to just less than 2 miles from my house. So there's no point in taking that route if I'm doing FSD testing. All right, I cannot see left yet. That was a good creep. That was much better than it's done some other times. There we go. Okay, here's another one. Left lane, or right lane ends, so it says to merge left. It waits until the last second. I'm going to let it do it, ready to take over. And it follows the line and then jerks across the yellow line on the left. Instead of pre-planning that and getting in the left lane when it knows that lane is going to end. It needs to do a lot of things in advance rather than waiting till the last second and reacting. All right, here's an example of bad map data. It thinks it's 45 through here when the road divides. It's actually 55. The map data has always thought it's 45 going this direction only. It thinks it's 55 going the other direction. But because they did some construction here a few months ago, they took the speed limit sign down back there and they never put it back up. So now the vision doesn't override the 45 speed limit, which is, bad map data. So common sense, because I know this road And I know going the other way is 55. I know this is 55. I have memory of that. I, use common sense, context, things like that. The car is going to look at the map data, which is wrong, and then signs, which the sign is missing. And so it thinks it's 45 through here. Kind of slowing down at the same rate I was. So, yeah, I had to hit the brakes because it does not slow down quickly enough, even though I scrolled the speed down. Again, cops like to sit right there, right past that speed change. So you don't want to be going 15 miles per hour over the speed limit. Alright, just turned on the turn signal, not sure why. And it's still, I don't know what it's doing. It is not, it is totally freaking out. And I don't know why it was, okay, that's a new one. The new map data must be even more messed up right there. Yeah, it doesn't even have the road correct. I don't even... But I mean, obviously I was veering to the left, so it shouldn't have been doing that. Okay, it stopped for that cone, which is not in the road. What is it doing? Go further forward. I'm hitting the accelerator because it's just stopping. I think because of that cone that doesn't exist. Alright, there's no one around. I'll go ahead and slow it down to 10 here. And we'll see if it can handle this turn. Alright, very good. Very smooth. That's the way it should do it. Okay, right here it should not stop. It should keep going. There is no stop sign. The road is just a right angle there. So, right there it was slowing down, I think because I've got, oh, it didn't. up my speed. Usually it changes my speed back to 25 when I turn on that road because there's a speed limit sign. That time it didn't, so that's why it was going slow. Yeah, we've got one more turn. This is an example. One, it needs to stay more to the right of the lane. And two, once it does go, it does not need to launch it up to 33 miles per hour. Actually, that was pretty smooth, but still, I'm in the middle of the road and it's going too fast. Speed limit technically is 30, but I would never drive more than 20 in this part of the road. It's narrow, residential, and no lines, and curvy. All those things, you just don't want to go that fast. So anyway, thanks a lot for watching. I'm hoping a lot of these are fixed in 10.69, but I guess we'll see. Hopefully the end of the week I'll be in that batch. All right, thanks for watching.